Hello. I'm so excited to be starting this with y'all. The whole feasting foodie body system reboot concept started a few years ago when I read Dr. Kellyanne's book, The Bone Broth Diet. And during that time, or right before that time, I knew I had some gut health issues and I was really struggling. And so I started doing research and I came across what you've probably heard of as the GAPS diet. Well, for me, that whole concept was very overwhelming. I wasn't sure how I was going to accomplish it. A lot of the concepts were new to me, and I traveled a lot, so I thought this is just too much. It felt way too involved for my lifestyle, and although some of the things it probably wouldn't seem as overwhelming now because it's become kind of more of a daily life kind of thing. I think I could do it. But for me, especially being a foodie, this one seemed way more natural and doable and fun. And so this is what we've done. And so it's modified slightly from Dr. Kellyanne's bone broth thing, but we did incorporate bone broth into it. And so some people say it's kind of like a combination of Whole Foods 30 and adding in bone broth for that gut healing aspect that bone broth gives us. So if you are a vegan, don't worry, you can still do this. You just won't get the benefits of the collagen and everything that comes in the bone broth, but you will get plenty of benefit, trust me, because the foods that you'll be eating and cutting out all the sugar and the dairy for this 3 weeks reboot is really going to make a big difference. So you're not going to be hungry because, again, you're going to eat so well. The food on this whole thing is so good. And we're going to have lots of recipes. We'll have people going on live and we'll be doing demonstrations. I show you how to make bone broth. And of course, you can buy bone broth too, pre-made, but I guarantee you, it's a lot easier than you think it is to make your own. And it's also tastier. You can actually add all the different seasonings that you want. And again, it's cheaper, it's easier, and you know what's in it that way. You can get really creative with this. And that's part of what I love about it, because again, I'm a foodie. I like food that not only tastes good, but that looks pretty and that is enjoyable to eat. And that, I can have people over for dinner in the middle of this bone broth aspect in the middle of it's still a habit because that's what we called it for years. By the way, we stopped calling it the bone broth diet because people misunderstood. They thought that this was some sort of a diet that you could not eat anything except for bone broth, like it was a bone broth fast or something. And that is not what this is. Again, you're going to eat really well. But anyway, I liked it because I could invite people over for dinner and they would never know that we were even doing a reboot because the food would be good. It would be beautiful. They may notice that I don't have a glass of wine with it during this 3-week period. But other than that, it wouldn't really be unusual because, again, we're eating great food, great meats, great veggies, all kinds of yumminess and salads and whatever. You're going to really find that you enjoy it. Yes, you're going to lose weight during this. Probably if you have extra weight, you'll probably lose weight. But at the same time, that's not the goal. The goal is to learn healthy eating habits. The goal is to make healthy eating just part of your lifestyle. Okay, so you're going to kick that sugar habit. And by the way, carbs turn into sugars. Okay, so you are going to probably, even if you're not a big dessert eater, you're probably going to discover that you are suddenly craving sweets, and maybe when you didn't before. But that's because cutting out all of the, things like pasta and grains and potatoes and things like that, and dairy and things like that as well, that would normally turn into sugar in your system. It's also going to help with inflammation. That's one of the perks that comes along with eating healthy. Again, that's not the goal, though. The goal is to create new habits. So that's what we're going to focus on. All right. And God made food to taste good, right? He could have given us all food that tastes exactly the same. He could, which, manna, I guess, would have been that way, right? And what happened? Everybody everybody was craving the onions and the leeks they left behind. But God gave us food to taste good. He gave us variety. He gave us foods with different colors and textures and smells. I mean, sometimes when I'm cooking, I'm like, the smell of the food is like you're sauteing onions and garlic and mushroom. Sometimes the smell of the food is even better than the taste of it. And so he made it to taste good. And so that's what we want to really um, maximize while we're doing this. Okay. So it makes it enjoyable. Eating healthy is enjoyable. It's not some kind of, boring, treacherous, depressing diet. That's not what this is. This is learning to eat food that is healthy and enjoy it and celebrate it along the way. Food can be very artistic. If you ever watch the way a really good chef does presentation with their foods, it's fun and it's beautiful and it's artistic. And so that's what we're gonna really focus on as well. Ezekiel 47:12 in the Bible says their fruit will be for food and their leaves for healing. So there's all kinds of purposes for food. He made food for a purpose. Think about what he said in that verse. Their fruit will be for food and their leaves for medicine. So think about that as you are let's see. Can I pause this? Yes. So a lot of people want to know what to do before they get started. And that's a good question. There's a lot of things that you can do. One of the things that you're going to want to do is to take a before and after photo. Okay. So that way you can kind of, sometimes it's hard. It's like your kids, you don't really notice how much they've grown up unless you don't see them for a while and then you see them again. It's that kind of thing. When you're seeing them every day, you don't realize it until you look at photos. So take a before and after picture. I suggest taking a head and shoulder picture, head and shoulder shot, and then also taking a full body photo. Also, you want to weigh. Okay. Don't weigh every day, but you want to weigh in the beginning and you want to weigh in the end for sure. Other than that, I would say don't weigh any more than once a week. Okay. And because you do fluctuate, and always do it at the same time. So if you weighed in the morning with no clothes on, make sure that the next time you weigh in the morning with no clothes on, don't, make sure you are measuring apples to apples, so to say. Also, you want to take a measurement of around your waist, because a lot of times when you are gut healing, that's where you're going to store a lot of bloat. So you'll notice a lot of difference in this right around your waist. Remember that success is measured in a changed habit or pattern, not in a single action or an instantly visible result. So you want the long-term growth. You want to see what's happened long-term. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are also in our Feasting Foodie Facebook group. Most of you are, because if you're seeing this video, unless somebody shared it with you, you are probably already in our group. But make sure you're there and make sure you participate. We want to celebrate together. Celebrate your wins. Celebrate when you find a new recipe, share it with the rest of us. If you want to take some photos, go ahead and do that too. Order your supplements. Hopefully you already have your supplements ready, but if you are late in the game, just make sure you're getting them. You can go ahead and jump in and start whether or not you have your supplements, but make sure that you try to have those on hand. Make sure you have all your kitchen supplies, whether it's an Instant Pot or, sharpened knives, whatever. Just be ready to go. Invite your friends to join. This is more fun when we do it together. And regardless if your friends started right from the beginning with us, it's okay. They can jump in wherever they are and just go 21 days from then. A lot of times this winds up dragging on for a lot longer because a lot of people are, jumping in midway. So it's okay. It's all right. Also, if you cheat, if you wind up having that latte with cream that you shouldn't have had, it's okay. And we're not going to shame you, but you have to start over. This goes full 3 weeks. Okay. And so if you cheat, you got to start over, and it's okay. Okay. don't beat yourself up. Just know that we want you to see the results. And so you need that full 3-week reboot. Let's see. I think we've got everything there. Stock up on your food supplies. Make sure you're doing really well in the planning. Check your schedule. If you are, if you have something scheduled with a friend to go have onion rings, that's not going to be a really good thing to do during this 3-week reboot. You don't want to be smelling onion rings. Okay. So, try to plan accordingly. All right. Let's see. I think we've got everything here. Let's go on to the next slide. What you will eat. Hopefully you've already planned on this because we've had this posted in the group for some time, but make sure that you have plenty of your yes foods available. All the leafy greens and seaweed you want, those are always good. Lots of kale and, spinach and all that good stuff. Make sure you have bone broth stocked up, whether it's in your freezer or whether you wound up buying some. Again, I have a link to a really good quality bone broth that I recommend, and I can get you a discount for that if you want to let me know. But if you are, as long as you're stocked up on it so that you have it ready when you launch. Free range eggs. You want to make sure if you can eat eggs, have plenty of free range eggs because there's so many things you can do with it. I think about the old commercial from years ago, the incredible edible egg. But, you can make deviled eggs. You can have omelets. You can have scrambled eggs. You can have fried eggs. You can, it goes in my mayonnaise, my homemade mayonnaise that is amazing and that you can use as a dip or anything else. It's very versatile. You can jazz it up however you want. It also is going to be, you're going to need that mayonnaise for things like egg salad, chicken salad, tuna salad, for making our paleo potato salad, which I'll be posting the recipe to soon. You're going to want to have eggs on hand, and you want to make sure they're good quality eggs. Mushrooms are really good. You can have fruits. You don't want to have a lot of the sugary fruits, so you want to really avoid that. I recommend berries, and only once a day, about the amount that would fit in the palm of your hand. Okay, so we're going to go really easy on the fruits because they're still pretty high in sugar. Coconut, lots of coconut. Coconut's really, really good for you. And you want all those good fats when we're doing this. So make sure you're getting lots of coconut milk, coconut flakes, shredded coconut, fresh coconut, whatever. Yucca is allowable. If you've ever had a yucca mash, it is amazing, especially with a little coconut milk in there. Hearts of palm, nuts and seeds. Now you cannot do legumes during this reboot, so you cannot do peanuts. So that does not count as a nut because it is a legume. So you want to do almonds and preferably raw almonds, pecans, those kinds of things. Lots of olives and capers, especially olives. Kalamata olives during this time they're your friends. They're so yummy. And that's like one of my favorite snacks is to take a half of an avocado, pile on some Kalamata olives and drizzle either a little bit of balsamic vinegar or squeeze some fresh lime juice on top of that, maybe with some fresh parsley sprinkled on top. Super, super good. Fermented vegetables, that's super good for your gut. Those fermented vegetables, getting all those good probiotics in there, that's really good during this time. You can have all the herbs you want, salt and pepper, using your Himalayan sea salt and fresh cracked pepper, that's good. Lots and lots of garlic. I put garlic in everything, and when we're doing this reboot, I go through so much garlic. Raw, cooked, it doesn't matter. I love garlic. You can use quality vinegars. You can use lots of fresh lemon and lime juice squeezed on top of things to give it lots of flavor. You can use, again, lots of avocados, all those good fats. You're going to want to only have good oils. Okay. So I recommend avocado oil, coconut oil, and avocado oil, coconut oil, and olive oil. Now on your olive oil, it has a very low smoke point. So I do not recommend sauteing with olive oil. If you're going to saute, use your coconut oil, or if you don't want the flavor of coconut, use your avocado oil. When you have olive oil, you want to make sure that it's raw. That's my general recommendation, because that when something when it has a low smoke point, if that oil starts to smoke, it's now turned into a bad oil. So make sure that if you're doing olive oil, it's on your salads, it's drizzled on top of your dips, like your baba ganoush or different things like that. That's where you want to have your olive oil. You can even drizzle it on top of your chicken breast or, whatever meats you're eating. It's really good that way. You can have coffee and tea, but no sugar or creamer. Okay. I know there are there's different recipes for things that people use as creamers that have coconut milk or whatever in it. So look out for some of those. I know a few of our ladies are planning on sharing some recipes in the group, so keep an eye out there. Monk fruit and stevia are allowed, but I would say that if you are kicking a very severe sugar habit, you kind of want to get out of the habit of even an illusion of sweetness. So if you can cut that out for a bit, you'll probably do better. But again, those two don't raise your blood sugar. So if you want to have those, that is perfectly allowable. Now, let's go to the no foods real quick. You're not going to have any grains. Okay. This is just 3 weeks. You can do this, but this is going to be important during this 3-week time period. So no grains, no potatoes, no beans or legumes. None of the bad oils. You are going to cut dairy. That's probably the hardest part for me. I do like a good quality dairy, but not during this reboot. No butter, but you may use ghee, like a clarified butter. So you can do that. No nitrates, processed foods, processed chips, crackers, that kind of thing. You don't want to use that. You cut out all sugar, and that includes honey and maple syrup. Again, it's only for 3 weeks. You can do this. No sugary fruits, no alcohol. So even that glass of wine, save it for that 3rd week, or that, after the 3 weeks are over. No MSG. You shouldn't have that anyway. Food dyes shouldn't have that anyway. No artificial flavors, all that garbage is gone. No soy during this time period, and no fruit juices. Okay, so even freshly squeezed juices, you're going to avoid anything that comes fruit juices that other than, again, the lemon and lime, and you're not drinking it, you're using it as, for salad dressing or to squeeze on foods. And so you can do those things. But this is, again, there's so much that you can eat. You're not even going to really, you're going to eat well. You're not going to suffer. That's for sure. You may miss things that you are in the habit of eating or that you enjoy. But again, always remember it's only for 3 weeks. So you're going to be able to do this. You're going to be great. All right. So bone broth. This is like the best part of the whole thing to me, because I love bone broth. And we're going to make beef bone broth. We're going to make chicken bone broth. You can even make fish bone broth, which is where our collagen comes from in our Young Living's collagen. So that's why it's so good for your skin and nails and hair, because that's the kind of collagen that is really, really good for that. But when we make bone broth, we're going to make lots of different kinds of bone broth. So it's healers have known forever, for generations, the benefits of bone broth. If you've ever read any antique books, you may have heard them talking about beef tea when they're, feeding it to someone who's really ill or dying. Even they would give them beef tea because it's so easy to digest, but it's chock full of nutrition, because your body doesn't have to work hard to digest it. It just goes straight into your system, and it's super, super good for you. So bone broth, in a way, is like, it's a superfood. It really is. It's loaded with that nutrition, and it's infused with all the goodness inside the bones, ligaments, and tendons of animals or fish. And so that's what we're going to get into our broth. Let's see. Of course, moms have been knowing this forever, right? We've always fed our kids chicken soup, right, when they were sick, because we knew that it was easy to digest. So bone broth is loaded with 19 easy-to-absorb amino acids, the building blocks of protein, collagen, which helps form connective tissue. Collagen is basically the glue that holds your body together. So starting around the age of 40, our bodies stop replacing collagen as quickly as it did before. And one of the reasons our skin starts to age and maybe sag a little bit or whatever, that collagen is what holds us all together. And collagen also helps to heal our gut lining and reduces intestinal inflammation, and that's super important. Glucosamine, the two naturally occurring glucosamines in bone broth, hydrochloride and sulfate, both help keep up the integrity of your cartilage, which is the rubbery substance within the joints that acts like kind of a natural cushion. Hyaluronic acid, which supports the skin and promotes healthy aging, cell regeneration, and skin firmness. Yes, please. That's going to be in there. Let's see, chondroitin sulfate, which supports a healthy inflammation response, as well as cardiovascular health, bone health, skin health, and healthy cholesterol levels. That's in there too. Bone broth is also rich in electrolytes and minerals that support the immune system. So you have somebody that's dehydrated, have them sip on some bone broth. That's another good thing. And you're going to be doing this throughout the day. You're just going to, just get you get hungry and you start to think you need something sugary, or you need something more filling, or you want those chips or whatever. Just go get a mug of your bone broth and sip on that and see how you feel when you're done with it. You'd be surprised. It may not sound like it's going to be filling, but it really is. And the glycine in bone broth can detoxify your cells from chemicals and improve brain function. So you're going to have all kinds of benefits from this bone broth, not to mention that it just tastes amazing. Okay, remember that. And you can add it to things. You can add it to spaghetti sauce. You can add it to chili. And yes, we do make chili, no beans, but you make it Texas style with no beans. Super yummy. And you can add some bone broth to that. In fact, I normally do that. And sometimes I'll just throw a big bone in my chili as I'm simmering it all day. And it's leaching all into my chili, all those good benefits. So it's going to be really fun. So your prep tips, you want to stock up on bones, lots and lots of bones. You can go to your local farmer. You can go to, if you have a good quality butcher, and you can ask them for bones. You can get things chopped up ahead of time. You can juice your lemons and limes to freeze them. I use a lot of lemon and lime juice for different things I make. I use it in my mayonnaise. I use it in dressings. I use it in foods. So I get the big giant bags of them at Costco, and I juice them all at one time. And then I put them in little bitty jelly jars and I freeze them. And so I always have lemon and lime juice on hand without having to juice anything. And I just keep it in the fridge until I need another one. And I take the next jar out of the freezer. Works great. If you ferment veggies, get stocked up on your fermented veggies, or if you buy them, stock up that way. A lot of groceries will have local people who, or like niche grocery stores will sell local fermented vegetables from people who do that. So keep that in mind. If you are in the Peoria area, there's a place called Sous Chef, and I know they have a really good kimchi that I love. So there's places like that. Make sure you have plenty of snacks on hand, and snacks can be like deviled eggs. It could be your veggies with a mayo dip. You could have slices of chicken, maybe in a little container ready for you to just take a few bites of chicken. You could do the same thing with shrimp. You could have just kind of a shrimp cocktail kind of thing ready for you. Obviously, you can't have ketchup that has sugar in it, but there are ketchups that don't have sugar in it, or you can make your own. So that's something to consider. You can have just salad fixins just ready to go. So if you need a quick snack that way, you can have nuts. There's just so many things. I think for me, again, I like to do the avocado. Avocado is another good snack, just drizzling a little bit of lemon juice on and having an avocado. That's a great snack, or with the Kalamata olives in there. That's really yummy. Lots of good things. And sometimes we'll do chicken wings. We'll do roasted chicken wings and have leftovers. And so if you have those it's just a good little snack just to take a little bitty chicken wing out and have that as a snack too. So there's lots of good things you can have. All right, let's see. Ahead of time, before you get started, you want to make sure that you are organized. So I cleaned out my pantry the other day in preparation for this. I want to know where everything is when I need it. I don't want to be hungry looking for something to eat. I want to know ahead of time. Also, just making a list for yourself and putting it on the refrigerator of snacks, because sometimes when you're actually hungry, it's not the best time to think of what should I eat. because all the things you'll think of things you can't have. So have a list of yes foods for yourself and have it all ready to go. Have things sliced up, have something that you can just open the refrigerator and grab, or open the pantry and grab, things like that. I like to slice up. I like to get big radishes and I slice them super thin so they're like chips. And that's what I use for dip with my, again, it's homemade mayonnaise really, but we put so much in it, you would never know that it's mayonnaise. It's more like a dip. It's got cilantro and jalapeno and just all kinds of yummy garlic and flavor to it. So we use that as a dip like crazy. I go through probably 2-3 cups of that a week easily. You can do the same thing with sliced tomatoes with cracked black pepper on it. There's just, and drizzle a little bit of either lemon or lime or balsamic on there. Super yummy. Okay, let's go to the next one. Again, organizing is super important so that you know how much you have on hand and what you need to get more of before you get hungry and you don't have it. That's not a good combination. Also, remember, partner with friends. This is so much easier to do if you can do it with other people. It, it makes it more fun. For one thing, you can swap recipes and you can cheer each other on. But also, if you're around people who are not eating the same foods as you are, it does make it a little harder. So if your family can get on board with you, they may not be 100%, but maybe you could at least get them to participate to some degree so that you have some support as you go through this. And, they may find that they get healthier in the process. So it's a win-win for everybody. But just don't go out to eat with that person eating the fried onion rings. You're just going to have a hard time with that one. Trust me. All right. So if you don't have your supplements yet, then go ahead and jump in and get started and try to at least use as much as you have on hand until your other stuff comes in. Or again, just go ahead and start with the food part. And then as soon as you get your supplements in, jump right in there too. But you'll want your Essentialzyme 4 to be able to help all that food process. The ICP Daily helps things move along. Life 9 helps feed your gut. There's just so much, all those things. And you can either screenshot this, or again, this list is in the pinned portion of the Feasting Foodie group. So you can just print that right off and put it on your fridge. But I am looking forward to doing this with y'all. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and keep a lookout for lots of recipes. And we'll do some demos and Facebook Lives. If you have something you want to share, either go ahead and post it or let me know. If you want some ideas on what you can do to help and to participate, reach out. But I am so looking forward to doing this with y'all. And I know that I just can't wait for you to see the results. The first time that I did this, I lost 26 pounds. I lost inches off my waist. I had so much energy. It was exciting for me. I'll clarify that I didn't lose 26 pounds during the 3 weeks. I lost quite a bit. It was over time after that, after I changed my habits. I continued to lose until I got to, a maintenance weight that worked. But again, that wasn't why I started. I was literally trying to heal my gut because I knew I had inflammation going on. And the weight loss just was like, oh, I can lose weight. I thought this was just middle age and that this was just the way it was. But as I was healing my gut, the weight came off, my skin felt better, looked better. It was like, I could tell I was healthier, and other people could tell I was healthier. So I have had not the healthiest last few months. So I'm excited to getting started on this too. I need it. And I look forward to us doing it together and seeing those results. So be sure and participate, and I will see you at the finish line.